you want to be on offense.
Right.
You want to be out there doing as much as you can and really working your community hard and being that helping hand. Because I'll tell you right now, people are going to remember who stepped up to the plate for their community over the next 4, 6, 8 weeks.
Right.
And they're going to remember who was taking advantage of the moment. This is Byron and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 112 of The Real Word.
Word is up. I thought we were at 109.
That was a few ago. Exactly a few ago.
It's only Tuesday, and I've been quarantined for what's
3-4
that
days. You're losing your mind?
I am. Well, we didn't have school on Friday. So.
I think when we opened up the show last week, we said, hey, we're not going to talk about it at all. Obviously, we're going to talk about it this week. We were even a little bit inconsiderate of the situation when we first came on last week.
Well, I think many people were I think you were just sick of hearing about it. It wasn't in our faces. It had zero impact on us yet. And now, obviously, the entire
impacting everybody.
World has changed. Yes.
Everybody's world here in America, for sure, has changed since Wednesday. We record this show on Tuesdays every single week, and then it usually goes out on Wednesday. And by Wednesday night, the NBA shut down, and from there on, that's kind of like the starting point of reality for me anyways.
Did you run to the supermarket or anything?
I've been to the supermarket a few times. Not hoarding, just getting little things here and there.
Right.
But at the end of this show, we'll talk about, instead of the Marketeer of the week, what to do and what not to do in terms of the right way to deliver messages in our opinions, right? These are just opinions. As always, nothing here is more than an opinion on the real word, ever. So we'll talk about that in place of the Marketeer. But we do have 2 rackets we want to get through. The number 1 racket is from Realtor Mag. Throwing Realtor Mag some love.
Well,
got to spread the love.
We got to support our realtors.
We got a Realtor Mag and an Inman article. First one's from Realtor Mag. I'm just going to call it the situation. Okay. I think if we use that word, then they're going to take our video down. I've seen some of that.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Well, if you have you seen any of that? They're like taking things down if you use the word.
The C word?
The C word.
Really?
Say the C word forces culture change.
Interesting.
In real estate. And so, when you think about what's happened since this point last week, 7 days to today, if all these things happened in 1 year, in 365-day period, you would say it's the craziest year ever in history. And this stuff's been compacted in a 7-day time period. Mm-hmm. So some of the information that you keep seeing, this could be outdated by the time you watch this video tomorrow.
It's certainly going to be outdated.
Right?
Yeah.
And so everything is moving so quickly. Up until this point last week here, showing time. Okay, so this article stating that we're seeing a culture change in real estate. Showing Time reports that over the last week, they have not seen a decrease in showings at all. Really at all for where we are this time of year, coming into what's traditionally a great spring market. I know we were about to have our best spring market of all time. Poor us.
I know, Connecticut was coming back.
Yeah, it was coming back hard for sure. But you know what's interesting? That stat holds true for us here locally in Connecticut. We didn't see any drop off in showings yet. I do imagine, I'm just going to be real here. This is going to be scary for some people. I do imagine there's going to be a point in time where things do stop for a little bit. Maybe not. I'm kind of surprised on how much activity we've seen locally.
There's still people listing. I have some people that still want to list, to be honest. I do know that some of my sellers are requesting like virtual tours before they come in, but
it's not just the listings. You guys know, if you're watching this show, if you're an agent, showing time is what we use to schedule showings. Buyers are scheduling showings all the time, and buyers are buying properties. We're seeing properties go under contract a lot. We had 13 in the last week. We had a crazy number just for our small team in the last week. So there are a lot of buyers out there. There's huge demand right now. Now, does that continue? We don't know. 16% of realtors nationwide report reduced buyer interest. So in certain areas, there is, I could imagine in San Francisco, they were already before this seeing a reduction in interest.
Well, they're in lockdown mode. I mean, they can't even leave their houses right now. Yeah,
exactly. But because of where their prices went, they were already seeing reduced interest and lower prices for the first time before all of this started to happen. And now in lockdown, I would imagine there's not a ton of buyer interest, unfortunately. NAR chief economist, we talked about this individual, Lawrence Yun, before. He predicts that seasonal home sales could tumble about 10% due to the fears. Makes sense.
For sure.
I mean, I think...
Well, you're just losing days, really.
Yeah. And then the article goes on to talk about how some of the brokerages are responding. I know our broker sent out a letter and a video yesterday across the country. All the brokers are doing the same in terms of what offices are staying open, what offices are closed.
Or what they're recommending for open houses or how to do all of that too.
Yeah, that was interesting too, that, there was an article on Inman that talked about open houses over the weekend taking a big hit. Ours didn't. We had less open houses open, but we still had people coming through. I think we've got to get innovative for sure as a real estate community. How many open houses can you host? And you could probably host more per week by doing them virtually, doing walkthroughs, scheduling Facebook Live. Beautiful thing is we've got a lot of technology to go through this, and there's no reason we can't speak to the consumer, educate the consumer, and have fun with it, in the sense that I wouldn't do cheesy marketing like, let's get your house open house ready or something like that. I do, hey, if you've already watched everything on Netflix, today at 4:00, I'm going to be doing a virtual tour. If you're bored out of your mind, check it out.
Right.
Like just light stuff that's positive, that continues to push the message. You have to continue to work your craft. Nobody in real estate, people that don't know, that are watching the show, that aren't an agent or are aspiring to be an agent, this is a 100% commission business. We can't apply for unemployment.
Right.
We can't, you don't work, you don't get paid. So if you're not closing deals, you're not getting paid. That's just the way it is. And so you got to keep working. You got to keep talking to people. You got to keep communicating. That's the big, not that that's a culture shift. Agents should always be communicating, but right now it's time to over communicate. It's time to reach out to more people, let them know that you're here. Not, hey, are you ready to buy or sell? Hey, I'm here for you if you need anything.
Right.
These are people in your community. And I know Tom Ferry, who you guys know, I'm his number one fan. I'm a huge fan of TF. And he said, are you going to be a lion or a lamb right now? I think, every agent out there has got to be a lion. We talked about leadership a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was last episode even. Talked about leadership traits in real estate. Right now, it's time to be an absolute leader in your community. So you want to be a lion in terms of protecting your team, your staff, the people you work with, your clients, your family, your direct community, and everything else can take a pause for a minute. Right? Yeah. I don't think you need to be a lion with your expenses. So there's two ways to look at that. You may want to be a lamb with some of your unnecessary expenses right now. It's just the way it is. You want to be on offense. Right. You want to be out there doing as much as you can and really working your community hard and being that helping hand. Because I'll tell you right now, people are going to remember who stepped up to the plate for their community over the next 4, 6, 8 weeks. Right. And they're going to remember who was taking advantage of the moment. All right? So be on the right side of history. This is not a racket.
No, none of these are really rackets. No. I mean, none of this is a racket at this point. I mean, it's all reality. I mean, I think the scariest part, though, too, is even once we get through this, what will people have left? Will the buyers that were originally buying, can they still buy? Can they still afford to buy? So, I mean, it's certainly going to last well beyond.
Bracket number 2, Inman article. Probably find it other places too, but you can read Gary Keller's advice to his agents on navigating market uncertainty. And again, I mentioned our broker sent out a message. I'm sure all your brokers sent out messages. I thought this letter really hit home. Gary Keller always has a pretty profound way of positioning his message. I'm going to read you the first 2 paragraphs. Make no mistake, we're in a shift. It's a different one than we've ever seen before. Its cause in and of itself warrants caution. We owe that to ourselves and everyone around us. The health challenge that has shown up in our lives is very real. It must be respected, and we must take all necessary actions to keep each other safe. The economic effect of this challenge is both uniquely real and surprisingly familiar. Those of us that remember
Right.
08. It's called a shift, an economic shift. It isn't the first one, and it certainly won't be the last. So remember that. We're going to get through this. Shift happens. Ooh,
I like
that.
it.
Shift happens.
It's a good one.
Shift happens. Take the F out. And when it does, you must shift with it. You need to pivot quickly. If you don't take action, you're literally turning your business into a game of chance. And there's no reason to do that. The actions are simple and highly effective. They've been time tested and proven. Make no mistake, you need to pivot. You need to pivot today. And you know, he goes on, he's got 4 key points here. Wake up and pay attention, number 1. Learn to live on less, number 2. I'm going to touch on more. I know I touched on that a little bit here in Racket 1. I'm going to touch on more of that right now. Double down on leads and lean into the market of the moment. Let's go through that, Nicole. Wake up and pay attention. What does that mean for you, and what should it mean for everybody watching this?
Holy hell, I didn't read the article.
Well, just that. Wake up and pay attention. You know what's going on. What does that mean when you hear that?
Well, I think the biggest thing, when I hear, I think that obviously we're parents and we've got kids at home. So obviously it's sometimes a little bit more difficult to actually sort of do that. But I think it's more important now than ever to, in my mind, pay attention to my business, pay attention, like you were saying before, to my clients. Obviously pay attention to the news though, too, because as much as it's sort of clouding, I think it's going to give you some really important information, again, for your family.
Yeah. And doing bite-sized pieces. Your situation with your family is like, I have a daughter who's 3 years old. She just knows it's raining outside, so she's not going outside today, so she's playing inside a lot. But you have 3 kids who are all understanding what's going on.
Yes.
And that's harder, I think, for any parent, than...
Yeah,
you have young kids
for sure,
that see empty shelves and stuff like that. That's startling.
No, it's well, and I think it's really important for you to have the conversations with your kids. I'm certain people are. I have to admit that I didn't have conversations with my children until probably like 2 days ago. My son just could not understand why he wasn't allowed to go have a sleepover. And again, he's 9. So you sort of think that they know, but they don't need to know, but they do need to know. They need to understand what's happening because this is going to be a huge change. They also need to realize that I'm going to be their teacher soon too,
well, you have a teacher at home. Brian White's the teacher.
I do, but he teaches high school, so it's a little different. Yeah. We need a little bit more patience, but
you guys accomplished matching all the socks. If you're following Nicole on Instagram, they matched about, what did you have, 300 socks there you matched up?
Day 1, we matched socks. So stay tuned to what's happening this coming week at the White House.
All right, Gary Keller's number 2 point was learn to live on less. And I'm going to really emphasize that for you guys a little bit here. If you're running a team, if you have staff, if you are running a brokerage and you have staff, virtual employees of any kind, I'm going to urge you guys all to make a list. What's most important to you? For me, Nicole, the most important thing for us is the employees, okay? I will give up everything before I give up that. So office space, don't care, can get more of it, right? That's up there on the list of, before employees. But expenses on leads, how much money are you spending on leads that if you just got down and dirty and gritty and called old leads, called more people, called the people in your community and just reached out, that you could generate those leads anyway.
Right.
Don't pay for leads when you can just do the work. Anything that you were paying for that was just a convenience to make your business easier, to put the grease in your business. You don't need grease right now, you need grit, okay? You don't need the grease. You need to simplify over the next month, 2 months, your plan of expenses. We did this yesterday. Sat down with Carolina, our ops manager, and we said, take it off the list. Nice to have, love to have it, take it off right now. We're going into a time of uncertainty, and you need to protect what's most important for you, your family, your team, your business. He's talking about, saving pennies, saving cash. Cash is super important right now, but in terms of operating your business, get rid of the expenses that you can replace with just doing more work. And, I don't want to go through, some of the things that we dropped, because some of those businesses we want to go back and jump back into in a month or two when all this is over. And it's going to be hard for those businesses. It's going to be hard for everybody. Everybody has to do more with less.
Right. I think, though, that we're also in this super unique time where I think that you could actually maximize on that, because, everybody's home. Everyone's going to be in front of their computer or on some sort of social network or emailing or what have you. So I feel like it may actually be easier than some think.
Well, because of the fact that this isn't a hurricane and stuff like that, and we're still going to have internet and be able to communicate, you should be using that advantage. If you're not using your personal Facebook profile right now, I would urge all you guys to do that. Use your Facebook personal profile. That's where the people in your community are following you, or wherever all the people in your community are following you. Use that religiously.
It sounds like.
By the way, where are we, Nicole? We're not in our usual studio. We've quarantined the studio.
We've quarantined.
Studio is on pause right now.
It's on pause.
Where are we?
We're actually at 66 High Street here in Guilford. We're finishing up our sales office, and actually we're holding back the furniture.
The furniture is ready to come in.
They're banging at the door to bring the furniture.
We're gonna wrap this show up. This is like Nicole said to me, our latest model unit here. Fantastic project, record-breaking project in New Haven County in Connecticut. We'll link this up, 66 High Street, if you're interested in checking it out. All right, his number 3 point was double down on leads.
We sort of touched on that.
Let's touch on that. I would double down on the leads that you already have. Don't go buying new leads right now. Double down on your leads. Really nurture them. Really touch them all the time. Really reach out and say, how can I serve you in this time? Number 4, lean into the market of the moment. Gary, I couldn't agree with you more on that. You need to shift. If you're in a luxury price point, if you're a luxury broker, don't be ashamed by dipping into the lower price points and doing deals where there are going to be deals to be had, or vice versa. Whatever, if it's going to the next town because there's deals over, you need to do deals, and there's going to be deals in the MLS that happen. There are going to be closings that happen over the course of this entire time frame that happen. You need to make sure your name is on them, regardless if they are a $30,000 deal or a $30 million deal. There won't be too many $30 million deals. That's a prediction. It's another prediction on the real one.
You like predicting.
All right. You got anything for that?
No, I'm good.
The last thing we want to talk about, usually we do a Marketeer where we highlight somebody. We're not going to highlight somebody this week. I'm going to go on a little rant here. We said it at the beginning of the show, we were kind of joking around, hey, we're not going to talk about it. Do you got it? On the last show. But that was really before all this stuff hit.
Here.
It's here now. You guys know about it. Some of the stuff I saw over the weekend in the real estate community was just downright disgusting. Hey, if you're sick of being quarantined in your house, I'll help you buy a new one. That might be funny for the broke agent to do, but if you're not a comedian 365 days a year, don't become a goddamn comedian right now. Become someone who's going to support your community. So what messages can you send out? There's plenty of restaurants in our community doing DoorDash, they shut down the restaurants here in Connecticut, but they're doing DoorDash, they're doing takeout. Every single day, take it upon yourself to let people know that are following you, that are on your Facebook profile. Hey, don't know if you know this, but this restaurant over here is doing DoorDash. They're doing takeout. They've adjusted their website. We have a friend here locally in Essex, Connecticut, who had made a whole new website just to facilitate delivery takeout.
Well, he's doing grab and goes too. Grab and goes. You can go in and grab your dinner and go. Yeah.
He's doing like a market style, turning his restaurant now into a market. As real estate agents, we need to innovate in that same way. What can we do right now in the moment? And then we need to support those other small businesses that are innovating and making hard decisions and changes right now. All of our messaging should be about helping our community. I saw one on Instagram. It must have been like somebody that signs up for canned marketing, where like you have these marketing companies that are just lazy POSs and they put out canned bullshit all the time. Well, it was like on a Sunday and it was like a photo picture of somebody putting out an open house sign and the copy was, call me today. Let's get your house open house ready. Hey, bozo, open houses are going to go down. It's about a virtual open house. So don't just keep your canned marketing running because you look like an idiot right now. It's disgusting. It needs to stop. You need to start supporting the community. You need to start supporting your loved ones and spreading positivity on any channel that you're going to speak to, or you can just go crawl in your bed and be quiet.
That's what I'm going to do when I get back.
Huh? That's what you're going to do?
Go on the bed.
You got the hoodie on already.
I did. Well, I'm
back in.
I'm home.
What do you think on tips of marketing right now in this environment?
Well, I mean, I think that, in all honesty, I don't think the way, I still think you need to be authentic. I think that will, I think we've always.
So be yourself. If you've joked around a lot,
absolutely.
then that might be okay.
And I think it's super important though for people to know that you don't have the answers, but that you are here obviously to support them. I posted my sock one because I did want people to know that like I too am going through like what you're going through, trying to find.
That was super authentic.
Trying to find a way to, sort of make sense of this new world, but still obviously, play it super professional like you're saying. Because again, we do need to keep our businesses.
And it's that kind of stuff that is very authentic to you. You've been talking about mismatched socks since the day I've known you. So this has been a big accomplishment for you.
Huge.
You've had mismatched socks for years at the White House. But that's something that's very lighthearted. Like everybody's in this situation. Hey, I know you're bored at home. If you're interested in watching my virtual tour, I'm going to be putting it up at 4:00. You get super bored. You've already run through Netflix 3 times. Check it out. That's the kind of stuff.
Right.
That's how I want to position my message because I want to be very thoughtful of this time that we're in.
Or being super helpful with, again, because we're going to be having to homeschool our kids. Like if you're finding a really great website, that's super helpful. Or if you know anybody that's doing, I know that people that are doing like in-home sort of like webinars to teach people how to even like use a camera or to
shout
do
out
video.
To BombBomb. Let's link up BombBomb's link right now. They're giving out their tool, which we use their tool for email video.
For teachers.
Free,
Yeah,
100% free for any teacher in this country. I don't know if it's just country restricted or what it is, but it's 100% free for all teachers. We'll link that up. Share that on your Facebook page. That's something that I think people, I don't know the rules of like if these teachers are allowed to reach out to their students during this time. But it makes sense.
There's like at least in our school district, the teachers are not giving any work for the first 2 weeks, and then after the first 2 weeks is when
they start giving work.
Work starts.
So it's a great tool to say, hey guys, you can have a little whiteboard behind you as a teacher on this email video. Go through 3 different topics and then let them go to work. It could be really useful. But there's a lot of companies in our space, in the real estate industry, stepping up. And I just want to end with, guys, start preparing. It is okay to put in the work to be prepared for what's to come. It's okay to jump out of some clubs that you were in that were costing you money. Protect your employees, protect your family, protect your business, and leave everything else on pause.
And wash your hands.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that last time, remember?
Be washing my hands after this song.
We were
wash the tips.
You sprayed. He came in and sprayed. You sprayed me.
That
as
is
soon
still.
As
I've seen that on multiple things. That is still how you want to.
Yeah, no, I watched the video. I've been washing my hands the wrong way my entire life.
Yeah. Oh, I was like a little I would wash the tips like this, but not the whole thing.
And you're numbing it.
Got to do the whole thing.
Got it.
All right, guys, be well.
See you next week.
Be safe, stay healthy. We will definitely see you next week. Even if we're on super quarantine, we'll do a Zoom. We'll figure it out. We will definitely see you next week. Please, anything you guys want us to talk about or add to this conversation, put it in the comments. Stay healthy and keep it real.
Bye, guys.